Okay, this video is going to show you how to use our API lead posting with a webhook from another system. Okay, so the other system is we're going to use Zoho CRM that has webhooks built in, but a lot of other tools like HubSpot, Salesforce, and other CRMs will have webhooks, and we're going to show you there how it works. But the first thing is you have to go here and kind of create, um, your endpoint and how it's going to post in and all that, right? So first, every every record, every lead, every loan file, there's some inherent things that are required for it to live, right? It needs to know who the branch is and who the loan officer is on the file, right? So in this case, I'm going to select, commercial division, and then I'll select any particular loan officer you want. So here's the commercial division default loan officer for that branch. The file type here is commercial residential real estate. What type of program are you looking for? Um, you might be questioning, well, what does it matter? I'll get into that in a little bit. But just select which program that you want the webhook to go into. And here's your main thing right here. This is the endpoint. That's very important. So if you look at the URL to notify, that's your endpoint. That's the main URL that you're going to be hitting. And you can do this via a get. I think post might work as well, but let's focus on the get. And in this case, you have to like tell the system in the webhook, like what parameters are you going to be posting? In this case, we're going to keep it simple. First name, last name, and email. And this is the parameter name. It needs to know, what does lending wise, loan post, what do we call first name? Zoho knows what they call first name and last name and email, but it needs to know in the URL, what should it be? So that way, when we receive it, we know how to match it. Okay, so first name, last name, email. How did we know that? Right, so if you go down here, F name, L name, email, and it is very case sensitive. So you want to make sure you do lowercase f, capital N, AME, and that's the borrower first name. Okay, so these are all the different parameters and possible values that you can post in to the system. All right. So now there's also some fixed parameters that need to be part of the URL. So in this case, you can put the BRC and ARC. This is related to the branch, and this is related to the loan officer. This is their encrypted code, okay? And loan programs, so that's FAF, that's our short code for fix and flip. And then file type needs that needs to be in there. That has to be in there if you want it to work properly. Okay, but for the loan programs, we have numerous other loan programs, right? So if you go back up here, each one of these has some type of short code associated to it. If you look down below, these are all the short codes here. So if your system has the short code in it, right, inside of Zoho, if you select, loan program on the lead and it matches our short code naming convention, then you don't need to make it fixed in the webhook. You can make it a dynamic variable. So that way, no matter what type of lead you're posting in, whether it's fix and flip, buy and hold, or regardless, whatever custom loan program you created, it'll successfully post over. But in this case, we're going to treat this as a webhook that's designed to post a fix and flip loan for HMLO, stands for hard money loan origination. That's our file type. That's hard coded. And then it's going to this branch, this loan officer. So if you look here, this is the URL that's going to be generated. But inside here is the variable that Zoho knows to populate. So for lead's first name, it's going to put John. Last name will be Doe. Email will be johndoe at Gmail. And then everything else is fixed, and that'll create our lead posting, right? So this is how you create a webhook, right? So now once you create it, you now need to focus on, well, how does this webhook get initiated? So inside of Zoho, you have what's called workflows. So I created a workflow rule, right? So when does this rule get executed? If you look at the options, you can say when you create a new lead, when you create or edit, when you just edit or update, right? So these are the actions that can trigger it. So we're going to do this on edit. And when the lead status is, instead of junk lead, we'll say signed up. So when the lead signs up, that means he's interested in moving forward and he wants to become a customer and complete a loan application. So you want to move the lead into LendingWise, right? So whenever you change a lead to account signed up, that's the trigger event. All right. And then what is the action that you want to have happen, right? So here's the webhook. It's just letting you review it again. Let's cancel that. So basically on instant actions, we created, here, I'm going to delete that, create a new one. So these are all the instant actions you can have happen. In this case, I'm going to choose webhook. And then these are all my webhooks. So I created one, LendingWise, FNF, FAF, fix and flip, associate, and that's going to happen instantly. If I wanted it to happen later, I could schedule this to happen blank hours, days, or minutes after this action takes place up here. All right, so all that is what happens when you initiate a webhook. So this again, it's happening on when account signed up takes place. So here we're going to take this lead inside of Zoho and we're going to change this to account signed up. Once I saved that, that initiated the webhook immediately, right? So if we go over to our pipeline, you can see here that we just created Chris Fueling immediately as a new lead. Now you can click on this and whatever data was posted, in this case, we kept it very simple. We only put in first name, last name, and email. But you can put in a lot of other variables to fill in a lot of these fields. Not everything, but a lot of the main stuff. So that's how you use our API lead posting tool with a webhook from another system. So you're webhooking out from one system, going inside of LoanPost or LendingWise. Hopefully this video will help.